You are listening to Offensive Lines with Marlon and Boyd. Small stakes NFL gambling for the average fan.
Welcome to Offensive Lines. I'm Marlon.
I'm Boyd.
And this is the Week 16 pick show. There is a full slate of games, 16 in all, and we need to redeem ourselves. So, do you want to get right to it?
Let's do it.
Okay. The Thursday Nighter, which we are not allowed to bet on, and we don't bet on Thursday games anyway. And wow, I'm glad Phil Sims is excited to watch this game because he may be about the only person.
No, the Jaguar fans are excited.
Okay.
It's the first time they've been a favorite in 42 games.
And that they are. Tennessee is +3 at Jacksonville. And I do like Jacksonville.
Yeah, you got to take Jacksonville. Charlie Whitehurst is quarterback, and our offensive line is, well, decimated, but it didn't really matter when our starters were in or backups or guys off the street. I think you guys are on your fifth center. I think we're on our eighth tight end.
Oh, really?
We just keep putting them on. We just keep putting them on, sign them off the practice squads and off the street, and then they get hurt, and then we sign another one.
Oh, I wasn't aware that things were that dire at your tight end position.
Oh yeah, every week we're signing somebody and putting somebody on IR. It's been crazy the last 6 weeks.
Wow,
3-4 tight ends, and they're not like they're starters. Like we still have Kaufman and Delaney Walker, but the guys behind them keep getting hurt.
Well, apart from that, I think Jacksonville is less interested in being in one of the very top spots. They cannot just move on from Bortles yet. So at that stage, being 3 or 4 is fine. I think they're somewhat more motivated. And they played a pretty solid game against Baltimore last week.
Although Baltimore is missing 3/4 of their defensive secondary.
Yeah, but it's still Bortles and Cecil Short, so,
And Denard Robinson's placed on IR this week. So I don't know what kind of running game Jacksonville is going to have with Toby Gerhart as option 1, 2, and 3.
The main thing I'm pulling for is I hope Casey takes a shot at another quarterback. Make it a weekly tradition.
I don't even know if I'm watching this game. It's gotten that bad.
If you're saying that, you know where my feelings lie.
Charlie Whitehurst against Blake Bortles in a Thursday night thriller. And
wow, it's
scaring me now. All this Mariota talk is just... Now Dungy came out and said he's the next Aaron Rodgers. He looks pretty small to me. I don't know how tall he is.
I don't see how valid that comparison is in any way. He doesn't look as big or strong, which Aaron Rodgers is super mobile. I agree with that, but he's also a big, strong son of a bitch.
Yeah, the whole mobile quarterback, the teams they play against aren't near as good, and of course they have it. Okay, I look up his stats. It's 1.93 meters.
A meter is 39 inches.
Are they giving me fucking...
That sounds like about 6 feet, 6'1". No, 6'2" or 6'3", so he's not that small.
Oh, he looks small on Letterman.
Anyway.
Can I get a US fucking...
Well, if you just want to open up another tab, you can just type inches to meters to inches, and you'll get a quick conversion pop down.
I know.
But I think we've talked about this game far more than any other pair of people will talk about.
I need to just see 6'3".
Okay. All right. Next game up, we have Philly -8 at Washington. I'm really hesitant to lay a lot of points right now, especially, like, should Sanchez ever lay 8? I know Washington stinks, but they can rush the passer. I mean, I don't want to stroke it out. How do you feel about this?
Well, I don't mind it. It's not my favorite game on the board, but we got burnt laying big points last week in every game.
And it's Sanchez. Sanchez laying 8 is not a phrase I really am fond of. So let's keep it in the mix. We'll see what comes up. But I think there are better games on the board this week.
They have to win out and hope for some help to get in the playoffs now.
Well, but... yeah,
well, they're out. They're not even a wild card.
Oh, really? Without...
no,
even if they win out?
Well, not if everybody else wins out.
Yeah.
They're not in right now. Seattle and Green Bay. Because they both have wins over Philly.
Okay, but it's in the mix, but right now it's a dark horse. We'll have to see if we split on the other games we each like. Next game up, we cannot bet. San Diego +2.5 at the Niners. San Diego, Keenan Allen.
That's a Saturday game.
Is out now. Yeah, oh yeah. So is the Philly and Washington.
Philly and Washington and Chargers Niners are Saturday games.
San Diego continues the season of MASH unit. Keenan Allen is now out for the year with a broken collarbone, which apparently he played a chunk of the Denver game with. He didn't play particularly well, but I give him credit for high pain tolerance.
Well, this continues a trend of seemingly team going in the opposite direction and having nothing to play for, or a shitty team at home being a favorite.
Well, the Chargers theoretically have about a 14.6 or 15.6 chance of making the playoffs, according to a piece Barnwell wrote for Grantland. That seems high to me, but it also seems an easy walk to the playoffs versus last year.
Yeah.
So I do think the Chargers defense has been playing amazing ball lately. And though I've said before, the mobile quarterbacks are the ones who give us fits. And this would be particularly galling to me to have Kaepernick blow up my team. So for that reason alone, I'm kind of certain it will happen.
No, Kaepernick doesn't run anymore, though. He's lost. He looks lost. The decision-making he had his first couple of years in the league appears to have vanished. When he used to know how to run or when to run, he's scrambling. He just stays in about that, in between the two tackles. He just does pirouettes inside the fucking two tackles and never steps up.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happened.
But if you can elude in the pocket, well, I don't know, maybe being told you're great and not having anyone actually try to make you progress, which seems to have been Harbaugh's strategy. Just keep telling them they're a Hall of Famer and maybe they'll become one.
Well, and this year he has the best crop of receivers he's ever had, to me, on paper.
By far. I mean, I said this last year. When are people going to stop making excuses for him? Oh, this guy's out. This guy's out. You know, every quarterback deals with that. And some quarterbacks, you know, obviously your production falls if your starting receiving core isn't out there. But they don't suddenly excuse a bunch of 120-yard passing games.
No.
So I'm going to take San Diego in the points here just because the game has some sort of meaning.
And San Francisco has nothing left to play for.
Plus, I like the way my defense is playing. The offense suddenly is playing terribly. What I'm really cheering for, and I feel like I'm jinxing it here, is I just want Melvin Ingram not to get injured because, fuck, he looks good. And that's a cornerstone. Now, mind you, Butler, our best utility linebacker is out for the season now, too. So the good news keeps rolling in from Southern California for me.
Well, and Borland's out for San Francisco. He's out for the year now.
Yeah, but he's been out for a few weeks. They were just
No, he just got hurt last week. He just went out in that game last week against Seattle.
I thought he went out in the first Seattle game, but okay.
No. San Francisco can't score. I don't know if San Diego is going to be able to score. You're not going to run against San Francisco.
They can't run against anybody right now.
Ryan
I've now discovered that Ryan Matthews, when healthy, is actually a lot better than many other backs, which I didn't know before the start of the season.
The Niners were getting heat on Russell Wilson.
My O-line is a
Your offensive
disaster.
fucked.
Fluker's supposedly out, too, though that may be a benefit. He has played brutally. I have seen guys beat him with, I swear, 5 different moves. Like, there's not even a move that you wouldn't try against him. Plus, he takes bonehead penalties in almost every game. Wow. Like, I mean, I don't know that his being out is actually a negative. Put in some wide body there. I mean, it's only right tackle.
Well, and the Niners have no running back either. Fuck.
No. This game looked really good at the start of the season. I was actually really looking forward to a surprise Saturday game, but this right now only looks slightly better than Tennessee Jacksonville. We can come back to it if you want.
It's basically Rivers versus the Niners defense is all what I'm trying to decide.
And that's a tough call, particularly because Rivers has not looked like Rivers.
Well, and Allen's out.
I mean, both the New England and Denver games were winnable based on the way the defense played. And Rivers and the entire offense was terrible.
Give me San Diego. I got to take San Diego.
Okay.
I just can't. With no running backs in San Francisco, what the fuck are they going to get offense from?
Yeah, we have none, and one thing Rivers is competent at doing is Keenan Allen being out is terrible. He was on pace for 100 catches for 1,000 yards. That's bad, but Rivers has been in this situation with no wideouts before. He can usually find the new guy.
Give me the Chargers. I'm reserving the right. This may change before the weekend, but I'm going Chargers right now.
It's a tough call. Next game up, we have Atlanta +6 at New Orleans. Atlanta's record in New Orleans is terrible. That said, I'm not betting on New Orleans under any circumstances.
No.
I'm so fucking done with that.
They're horrible at home this year. Have lost winnable games. Should have lost to Tampa at home.
The only good home game they've had was that shit stomping of Green Bay. It's like they know who we bet on.
And Rodgers still passed for 400 yards in that game. I don't know how they didn't score any points.
Beating on Chicago means nothing to me. Absolutely nothing.
This game's for the division. Winner of this game's going to win the division, I believe.
I think Carolina, with their victory last week, still has an outside look at it.
Yeah, if Atlanta wins.
Oh, maybe.
Because then they've all been at 6.
Should this New Orleans team be laying 6? I mean, I guess with New Orleans, it's if they win, they usually cover, though.
But have they not been a favorite in any game this year? It's fucking ridiculous.
Good point.
They're 6 and 8.
You brought this up last week.
They're 6 and 8 and been favored in almost every fucking game. But
Atlanta's terrible. You know what? I'm going to take the Saints for now, but I'm really going to watch the status of Julio.
Well, he's supposedly playing as of today. Okay. Smith said he was going to play, but I'm taking New Orleans. Or taking New Orleans.
Okay. Though Roddy Smith or Roddy White had a good game. And Harry Douglas actually played well. So Atlanta offensively isn't dead.
That sounds like that could be a nickname. Harry Douglas.
Fair enough.
Hey, there's old Harry Douglas.
I think, though, if you're going to change the nickname for your junk, you have to file legal paperwork.
Hey, Harry Douglas. No, it'd be worse if it was Harry Johnson.
Yeah. All right. Next game up, we have Baltimore -5 at Houston.
I know you're a Houston backer, but can we take Baltimore here, please?
You really want to take Baltimore?
Yes.
It wasn't on my list, so
Keenum.
I wanted to stay away from this game.
Why? Case Keenum or fucking some guy they signed off the street. Even the backup to Ryan Fitzpatrick got hurt last week. Their third string they signed 2 quarterbacks to play in this game.
Yeah. No, and
who haven't been
that makes
in
an additional
action.
point, because the weakness of Baltimore, which is overall a pretty solid football team, is their secondary. And if it's Case Keenum or named to be inserted later, it's not like they're going to really test the edges on the outside, are they?
My guess is it'll be Keenum, because he had limited success last year when he had to come in and play.
Well, yeah. But it's an entirely different system, though. The coach is gone, so he doesn't even get that benefit. I think it will be Case Keenum, but we saw in Hard Knocks how well he did as a backup for Atlanta going to Houston. Yeah, no, you've made a really good argument. That is definitely in the mix. I hadn't even thought of that. I just wanted to stay away because both the teams pissed me off last week. But
4th or 5th string quarterbacks against a decent pass rush. Baltimore can run the ball, so it kind of takes away Watt's pass rush.
Baltimore can stop the run.
Yeah, which is all they'll be doing is hand it off to Foster and Blue.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and if Baltimore keys on that, their line is good. Their linebackers are good. You make a very compelling case. I think that's
and that it's only 5 it's only 5 seems low.
Yeah.
And another thing Baltimore has is one of the best field goal kickers in the league.
Well, I know it. Yeah, so even if they stole in the red zone, he could have another one of his trademark 5 or 6 field goal games. So
the only thing to worry about is if they get a couple of defensive touchdowns. I can't see them scoring more than 10.
The O-line in Baltimore isn't terrible. Flacco's, with the exception of last week, has been playing far better football than I'd ever thought I'd see him play outside of that Super Bowl.
He's top 10 in quarterback rating this year.
Oh, yeah, and it actually looks better when I watch him. I mean, he's been firing deep balls with ridiculous accuracy. He actually seems to be seeing the field. He's not locking into anybody. I mean, their receivers aren't great, but Steve Smith, even though his numbers aren't good lately, suddenly makes it that you just can't shut down Flacco's guy and have him have nothing else. So that's a good call, Boyd. I think you've totally swayed me.
And Andre Johnson might be out again, too, for Houston, which takes away anything, really, that they have. They have one, I can't remember the name of the dude. They have one decent receiver, but without Johnson on the other side, it should be easy to lock him down, even with their secondary fucking in trouble. So, yeah.
I think that will probably be in there.
And Baltimore, they need to win out to get in the playoffs. So
yeah, and they're a pretty good team overall. So, all right. Next game up is off the board, so we cannot bet against Johnny Manziel.
Although
I think that's the only reason it's on there.
Yeah.
No, it is at Carolina, so.
It's because of Cam Newton. They don't know who's quarterbacking in Carolina this week.
Well, Carolina, I mean, I know theoretically they can win that division. Fuck that. Play Derek Anderson, who is not the worst backup out there, you know? He's had 2 starts this year and 2 wins. Admittedly, both versus Tampa, but I don't jeopardize the future of Newton.
Yeah, but it's not. It won't get any worse. Like you said last week, it's the same injury as Romo had, and Romo sat out a game.
Yeah.
So, as long as he can handle the pain, if he can play, he's playing.
Yeah, and in any case, whether it's Newton or Anderson, I'm taking Carolina in this game.
Yeah, I'm taking Carolina too. You make Manziel beat you. He looked awful.
Yeah, and it's not like they have a running game they can turn to in Cleveland.
No, even if they did, you'd key on that and make Manziel make throws.
Yeah.
And now there's stories coming out Josh Gordon's not working hard enough, and it's just a shit show again in Cleveland.
Yeah, they were just relevant enough to screw us out of our bet, and then it's back to the City of Light, City of Magic.
Well, we lost 2 bets last week, future bets, with Baltimore and Pittsburgh winning.
Yeah.
They were both 8.5.
We managed to pick the one division with no clear unders, as it turned out. Good on us. All right.
Although we need Cincinnati to win out, though.
Yeah, that looks...
So we need Cincinnati to win that division.
That looks challenging. They're not good. They're not
that one tie.
Good.
That one tie is keeping them right there.
Yep. Okay, next game up, we have Detroit -7 at Chicago.
I like this one too.
Yeah, I had this one marked as well. I'd prefer that we don't end up laying 24 points again, but everything in Chicago, that Monday night game was terrible. Like, they didn't even... Gruden was actually commenting that he's never seen a team come out of the tunnel with less energy than Chicago.
Well, at the start of that game, the 2 turnovers within a minute and a half left a little to be desired. Like, it's not like New Orleans has a great defense and they looked like world beaters. I can't see Chicago putting up anything. Even the Thanksgiving Day game, 1 touchdown they got was on a fumble.
Well, yeah,
set him up at the 20.
Field. And it was 2 to Alshon Jeffrey, but Brandon Marshall isn't in there.
No.
So now Detroit can take away Alshon Jeffrey. So
and
as long as they can control Forte, yeah.
Well, they have the best run defense in football. It's the number 1 run defense in football.
They have a superb defense. We got burned on them last week, but I think Minnesota is significantly superior to Chicago.
Yeah, defensively for sure.
So, okay. And, Minnesota got 14 early and then nothing. Detroit just put the clamps on them.
Yeah.
So, that one is in the mix as well. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be betting Philly.
No.
Unless we run into nothing here. Next game up. Green Bay -10.5 at Tampa Bay.
Nope.
No, we're not betting it. It's, as you've said, you're not betting Rodgers on the road in anything.
No, there's no... What would make them a 10.5 point favorite on the road when they win by 3 if they win on the road?
Well, one, this is Tampa Bay minus their best defensive player by far. It's not Buffalo, the number 1 defense in football. There's a big difference. I'm not advocating betting on this game. Don't worry. I had no interest. I'm just making the case that I'm going to lay the points. This is kind of a must-win for Green Bay. Tampa Bay is depleted and terrible. Green Bay's defense was adequate versus a better offensive team than Tampa Bay. If they shut down Sammy Watkins, I think they can shut down Mike Evans.
I'm taking Tampa.
You're taking Tampa in the points? I'm taking Green Bay.
I can't argue that much that they're a different team on the road and then take them on the road again.
Well, I mean, you can because it's Tampa Bay. It's one of the worst teams in football, not the best defense in football.
No, but they've kept teams close.
Yeah, but why is his name escaping me? The defensive tackle for Tampa.
Gerald McCoy.
Gerald McCoy. That's what I thought it was. I should have just played it. He's gone now. And when he was gone before, Atlanta put a 50 burger on him, didn't they?
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Okay. He's by far their best defensive player, is all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. No.
And Tampa was significantly friskier when he was in the lineup.
Oh, no, granted, but Green Bay's different team.
Yeah, okay. All right, next game up, KC +3 at Pittsburgh.
Nah, I don't want to touch this one.
I don't want to get involved. Both of these teams are not as good as their records say they are. But KC has a good defensive line and a good pass rush. Pittsburgh is the craziest pass-happy team out there.
Yeah, but they still get 100 from Bell every week or close to it, or 150 receiving.
Yeah, their defense is atrocious, though it scores pick sixes. Like, Gay and Ike, I know his name is Taylor, but I just like to think of him as Ike Turner. Out there playing and beating on women, but
Pittsburgh's weakness is Kansas City's weakness. Kansas City has no wide receivers. So how are you exploiting the Pittsburgh weakness?
Yeah, but you can run on Pittsburgh too. Their defense is atrocious across the board. They are completely different from the so-called team identity of Pittsburgh in the past.
Oh, granted, but they score points at home.
Yeah, they score points. They
run
all
the
over
ball
the
really
place.
well. I'm going Pittsburgh.
I'm going Pittsburgh too, at home.
That field would be a mud hole.
Oh yeah, you're right.
The field would be a mud hole.
No, have you noticed the turf is way better in Pittsburgh since they became a speed team?
But it'll be crappy for weather-wise and everything. It's going to be crappy. The only hope Kansas City has is if Charles has a big game. You're not beating Pittsburgh with no wideouts.
Yeah. No,
I don't care how bad they are.
But I do want to hit that point again, that Pittsburgh's turf is far better now that they are a very fast team. Suddenly, the groundskeepers seem to have figured out how not to make it a stinking cesspool. Funny that. When they were old and slow, we have so many high school games here. Like, you're philanthropic. Fuck you. God, I hate Pittsburgh. But I'm taking them.
Well, I don't like them either, but...
I still hate that turf shit. And this is so obvious that the turf got worse depending on the speed of the opposition.
Well, that's why it'll be bad. Because Charles is the only hope Kansas City has of winning that game.
Kansas City.
I know, but they have... The only way they win is if fucking they stop Charles, and that'll be more important than...
You're taking out one player. Yeah, all right.
That's all he got.
Yeah, let's watch that turf on Sunday. I'm kind of looking forward to that now as a side thing. Next game up, we have Minnesota +6.5 at Miami.
I like the Vikings here.
Me too. Uh-oh. God, when we're in too much in agreement, we just get blown out of the fucking water. I like Minnesota's defense. Though, can Minnesota score?
Yeah, but Miami's not going to score. They only put up 13 against or 14 against the Patriots.
And got shit stomped by Baltimore.
Yeah, the week before at home.
But Miami still, even though they haven't appeared in the last 2 weeks, that pass rush can be ferocious.
Yeah, I'm making this bet strictly on Minnesota's defense. And the Tannehill's not that good. If you want to talk about quarterback putting up numbers against shit, his 70% completion streak was pretty much against shit.
Yeah.
And then he gets in big games that they have to win, and he shits the bed. They do nothing.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I'd feel better if Minnesota had McKinnon in there, who's on IR. I don't trust Asiata to carry the ball more than 2 yards on any carry. He's a good goal line back.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm still basing it on their defense. And you go into if what you were saying was true about Rodgers struggling against top defenses, he struggled against Minnesota, he struggled against Buffalo. The Vikings shut down Detroit at home when they looked to be getting things back in order.
Yeah. No. I liked this game too. I was looking for a way to talk myself out of it. It's in the mix. We're both... And really, should this Miami team at this stage be favored by 6.5 over anyone?
No.
That one's in the mix for
they
sure.
Don't. Miami doesn't really have a running game. They have one wide out, and he's hit or miss. I'll take my chances with Minnesota's
not a terrible
defense.
tight end.
No.
He's not a game changer, but yeah. Yeah, and
if they can shut down Kelvin Johnson and Stafford,
yeah,
I'll take him against
and they
Tannehill
did, and they shut
fucking
down Green
Wallace.
Bay and that. Like, both losses, but strong losses. And they haven't given up more than 20 in forever, it seems.
Yeah, Green Bay, 24.
Okay.
But I don't know if we'll end up betting on this game, but I'm taking Minnesota in our picks.
Yeah, I put us both down, and I've left it in the mix. Because it's nice getting 6.5 points with a strong D. And, Bridgewater is raw, and there are problems with him, but he's not bad.
No, but they'll score enough to keep it within the 6.5.
And their special teams are good. Wow, except for the blocked field goal and the missed. Anyway, I'll take that back. I'll just retract that statement. Okay, next game up, New England -10 at Jets. I don't want it.
Hey?
I don't want it.
Why?
It's too many points against the last hurrah of Rex Ryan.
No, it's not the last. Marlon, you didn't sit through any of that debacle in Tennessee. The only touchdown they scored was on 2 personal foul penalties against the Titans. They got 30-yard gifted yards to them to score their only touchdown in that game. They're awful. When Tennessee keeps it close, you know the team's awful. They're an awful football team on both. They're on third downs. They're the worst defense in football, statistically, on third downs. They hammered that point home all game against Tennessee. Tennessee was the worst third down team in football going into that game, and they were around 50% when I quit watching. You don't think Brady and the Patriots want to fucking stomp on Rex Ryan on their way out?
That is true. And the other one was a Thursday night game, which I've said often and seem to ignore, is don't count Thursday games into your assessment of anything.
And it was also before Gronkowski was healthy.
He was back and playing.
Yeah, but he was back, but he wasn't what he is now. He wasn't. He's not.
You listen to too much Simmons on that.
No, I'm not. Dude, when he came back, he was catching 3 balls a game. He was on a fucking pitch count. And he's not anymore. They're a different team than when they played the Jets the first time.
I do agree with that.
And the Jets are like on another level of awful. Is Geno Smith going to score enough points in that game to keep... When you can only score 16 against Tennessee, you're not good.
Yeah, okay, so let's say the Jets put up 6. Yeah, okay.
The Titans are the 31st ranked defense or 30th ranked defense in football. They put up 16 points. They won the game on their last drive with 3 minutes left.
Yeah, okay.
They have nothing. Eric Decker. I'm pretty sure Revis can take care of Decker.
And by all accounts, Tennessee got the penalty against Tennessee on a 3rd and 15. I was reading this in Football Outsiders today. No one can figure out what the penalty on Tennessee was for that gave them the first down that led to their only touchdown.
Well, but that's Tennessee. They're still living under the Jeff Fisher, Jim Schwartz, fucking who was the idiot in New Orleans?
Oh, Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like they just did a thing. He got a penalty for something, and Decker
he stood over him. Oh, it was
Decker
taunting.
even denies that he even said anything.
It was taunting.
Decker himself said, "I don't know what that flag was for because he did nothing."
It was taunting. I know, but it was taunting. They gave it to him for unsportsmanlike conduct for standing over him after he hit him.
And so that led to the only Jet score. Yeah, you've swayed me on this one, too. Like, I was going to take New England anyway. I'm just...
Well, we'll keep it in the mix.
Yeah, it's in the mix, but I'm writing us both down for New England.
Yes.
Though I'm seeing a distressing number of favorites again. Just in our overall picks.
Yeah, but this goes to the... I won't call it an discussion we had last night after the podcast, where I was arguing there's no good team. Like, how can you pick an underdog when the underdogs are shit?
But how can you pick a favorite when the favorites are picked, especially laying that much? The New England is out of that conversation. New England is a good football team and would be a good football team in pretty much any era.
It's not like we're taking Pittsburgh -10 here.
Yeah. No. It wasn't an argument. It was a discussion.
That's what he says.
All right. Next game. That one is in the mix. Next game up, the New York Giants +5 at the Rams.
I don't want to bet it, but I'll take the Rams.
I wouldn't have minded betting it.
Well, if the Rams would have done anything on offense against Arizona, I would consider betting on it.
Yeah, that's Arizona. They're a damn good defense. So the Giants are not a damn good defense. The Giants are a tire fire.
Eli Manning's better than Lindley.
That's true. But
they're going to score more than 12 points is my guess.
Yeah, but
who
after
on St.
two
Louis
shutouts, they've given up 12.
Who's stopping Odell Beckham? Who's stopping Odell Beckham, though? That's what scares me.
Yeah, and that's a reasonable reason. I'll gladly take this out of the mix. So this is a game I strongly like with the Rams. Strongly like.
Oh, you can keep it in the mix. You could sway me potentially. It's just I know the Giants' defense isn't great, but Sean Hill. Are we really going to bet it just on
St. Louis's
defense?
Yeah. I mean,
like if the Rams would have done that against even Stanton for the whole game, or Palmer, or somebody adequate, they're just too inconsistent offensively.
Well, don't forget, they were coming off 2 shutouts back to back. They've given up 12 points in 3 games. I know that's shit opposition, but I include the Giants as shit opposition. The Giants are not significantly better than Washington.
No.
The Giants are better than the Raiders, but
they've got something going, though, with Beckham and Manning.
The Rams beat the fuck out of Denver. Stomped the holy shit out of them. Clobbered the Niners. You know, since mid-season, this Rams team has been really good. Their inept offense ran into a really good defense. And that's the only real hiccup they've had. They should have won that San Diego game. And San Diego is an above-average football team. And that was on the road.
No,
and in fact, if it wasn't for a blown call, the Rams win that football game.
Yeah, you're swaying me. Keep it in the mix.
Okay. Next game up might also be in the mix. Buffalo minus 5.5 at Oakland.
That's, oh, jeez. Yeah, it's in the mix. I can't make an argument for Oakland to cover that. The way Buffalo's defense plays.
I mean, Buffalo's defense is better than the Niners' defense. My only worry is Oakland carved that apart and actually hung tight with KC for half that game. And then all of a sudden it was an explosion.
Yeah, I was liking my pick there for the first half last week. But
so this is one. Buffalo's defense is good, and they still have a ghost of a hope at the playoffs. It's like 3.6%, but that team is playing with attitude and fire.
Yeah, and they won't stop. They won't be able to shut down Watkins.
No, Oakland can't.
Yeah, they'll keep that in the mix.
God
I mean,
damn
like
it, we
that
got a
better
lot
than
in the
the
mix
Patriots.
here. But yeah, I kind of like Buffalo here.
Yeah, I do too.
And as much as we're fans of Derek Carr, what's he got to throw to? Michael Rivera. On occasion, J.B. Holmes.
No, they won't be able to run. Although Lacey had 97 yards against him, but...
No, but who's Oakland's running back, even?
No, I know.
I honestly don't know. I was asking a legitimate question.
I don't know his first name. Last name's Murray. He's been their leading rusher the last few weeks.
Yeah, he took a concussion. He's shown some burst. He doesn't look terrible. I mean, I think Oakland, as much as this pains me to say it, is a team on the up. But I don't think they're anywhere near there yet. I think
but they're going to fire their coach again.
I know. And
probably
GM. The GM. Like, that would be... I hope they do it. I encourage them strongly to do it. Because that would be the dumbest thing they could do.
There's no continuity there. You're never going to rebuild out of this hole unless you got to give them 3 years.
Yeah.
Not a year. Everybody's getting a year to turn it around. Well,
especially when Oakland, even though their win-loss record isn't much better, this is a much better Oakland team than we've seen for half a decade, at least.
Yeah.
Much better. That said, I still like Buffalo here because even though their record isn't much better, Buffalo is also a much better team. Mario Williams. He's been around a long time. Is this his 12th year or so?
Somewhere in there. Somewhere between 10 and 12. He
He
came in with Reggie Bush whenever that was.
Yeah, he's playing like a beast. All of Buffalo's defense, and the team has attitude. They come in and they want to punch you. They might have a letdown after beating Green Bay, but because their playoff hopes aren't over yet, I don't think it'll be a significant letdown.
The only thing is, East Coast to West Coast always seems to play a fucking factor in these games, no matter what the records are or how much better one team is than the other.
East Coast teams adjust better going to the West Coast. Anyway.
Still plays a factor.
It's in the mix.
Yes.
Next game up, Indy +3 at Dallas.
I like this game too.
I sort of do, but you know what? There's too many injury concerns. We don't know what's up with Hilton. We don't know what's up with DeMarco Murray. Surgery on his hand. You can tell me all you want that Randall and the other guys will be just fine.
No,
it's a huge downgrade.
No, I know. I was just going to say how horrible Indy's defense is against good opposition.
Yeah, and I don't think Indy's a particularly good team overall.
I have no running game.
Wanted to jump all over this game. But
I can't see Dallas losing this game.
It's Dallas.
Yeah, but they've been proving everybody wrong this year. The old standard is gone. Because if it was the same old Dallas team, they would have folded the tents in Philly when they got down 24-21.
But DeMarco Murray, who I believe was on pace to go over 400 carries, the thing everyone started bringing up in about week 6 He had surgery on his hand this week. Now, Dr. Jerry Jones says he might play.
Yeah, but he said that about Romo, too.
Like, I don't hate this, but there's so many injury concerns. I think if T.Y. Hilton plays, he can scorch. Dallas's defense, it's not the disaster we thought they would be, but it's not what they were doing in the first half of the year either.
No, but I don't think Indy's going to get enough. They're going to be able to slow Dallas down. Even if Murray doesn't play.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
But we got
this
enough
many
in the mix.
injury questions. Yeah, I mean, I would rather just skip this game.
Okay, I'm taking Dallas.
Okay, I am as well. Next game up, Seattle, -7.5 at Arizona. I want no part of this.
Although we should.
Why? Will Seattle score 7.5 points against a really good defense?
Well, they gave up 3 points. Seattle's defense gave up 3 points to Arizona with their backup quarterback. We're now down to third-string quarterback, starting running back out.
But will they score against a good defense?
Well, they put up 19.
That was at home. Like, you were saying this last night. These guys can't play on the fucking road. They're a different team on the road.
Yeah, but they put up 19.
They couldn't cover 10 at home against the Niners.
But I'll still take Kaepernick over Lindley. I can't see Arizona scoring a point in this game.
That's possible, but I can see Seattle scoring 6. Arizona's defense is monstrous.
Oh, I know they're good.
And you know Arizona at home is a different team too.
But what will happen here is that Wilson won't turn the ball over. And we don't have to take it. I'm just the Seattle's not going to turn the ball over. And Arizona will probably 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I really don't want to bet this. And in fact, to the point where I'm taking Arizona because I don't like that big number for Seattle.
I'll take Seattle. Defense is going to score at least 1 touchdown in that game. There's going to be a pick 6 from somewhere.
You got to say it. Mark my words.
I did. Well, I don't have to say it. I just said it.
Okay.
I didn't say maybe score a touchdown. I said they're going to score a defense. They're going to get a pick 6.
All right.
Because Lindley did fuck all against the Rams defense. He's actually going to put up anything against Seattle's? Not a fucking hope.
Rams defense lately has not been that far off Seattle's defense. Seattle, in fact, has given up more points at 20 in the last 3 games versus a dozen. Now,
who'd they give up 10 to?
Seattle?
Yeah.
They give up
they beat the Niners
3
and 7.
3, 3, and 7. So 13 points. Okay,
versus
13
12.
points versus 12.
And they didn't play the Raiders and the Redskins in that
they
stretch.
Played 3 teams with brutal quarterbacks. Absolute disasters at quarterback.
Well, so did St. Louis.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying they're somewhat comparable. In the Seattle run, and I'm all on board the bandwagon too, but they haven't played a quarterback who legitimately deserves a starting job. And yes, I'm including Kaepernick.
No, I know, but it's a third-string quarterback against that defense right now is just easy pickings. And with Ellington, if Ellington was in Seattle and they put up 3, they had no answer offensively.
Yeah, but they also stuffed Seattle in the red zone about 5 times. Arizona's defense and Arizona in the desert. I've been burned so many times disrespecting Zona in the desert. And as you said yourself before many times, Seattle's a different team on the road.
They are, but if it was anybody but
in the playoffs.
If it was anybody but a third string quarterback, I would be with you.
Okay. That's fair. We just differ on that one.
It's third string quarterback. To me, this is no different than Baltimore playing Houston.
Okay.
So.
All right. And for the final game of the week, Denver -3 at Cincinnati. I would like this, except that Denver could rest a whole flotilla of injured players. This is a game I might change. If New England loses earlier in the day, I'll be all over Denver.
New England's not losing that game.
Oh, I know. But if they do, and that's why in general, I'm saying don't take them, because
I'm taking Denver.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll take Denver right now. I don't want to bet on it, though.
I'm not taking... Are
you seeing my point at all here, though?
Yeah, but I'm not taking the redheaded nightmare in prime time.
Good point. Very good point. But I don't want to bet on it.
Awful in big games.
But this could be a big game versus backups. And it'll be just enough to make people believe in him again.
No.
And the redheaded, or the ginger nightmare is actually Jason Garrett, coach of the Cowboys. I've trademarked that for him.
Not after last week. If the Steelers and the Ravens win, there's even more pressure on Dalton. And we all know how well he plays in pressure games.
Yep.
He doesn't. Give me Denver all day.
Did you want to bet this one, or?
No.
I don't, because
we got enough other
think
games
Peyton
in
is
the mix.
hurt. And they just keep saying there's too much of a... It's like Republican Party talking points.
All
any Denver player has said for 4 weeks is, we're a different team. We're running the ball now. We're a different team. It's so rehearsed that I honestly am not convinced of Peyton Manning's health. Right now.
I want to see who these teams play in Week 17, because Denver's still got an outside shot at home field in the playoffs.
Only if New England loses.
Right.
And I think New England's last game is a cakewalk. It's a division game.
No, it's not.
Buffalo?
It's Buffalo. Buffalo at New England. And Denver plays... I know. But, Denver plays Oakland. Denver's not resting anybody because New England's going to hammer the Jets. And Denver has to win. They don't want to go on the road. They have to win out.
Yeah, I'm taking Denver all day too, but I don't want to.
I don't want to bet it. No. We got enough games in the mix. We don't need to throw another one in.
Yeah,
I've got no problem, even though I believe Denver's going to blow them out.
Yeah, well, generally average defense, but. I can't judge Denver's run defense because San Diego had no running backs.
For all the talk of Manziel shit in the bed, Dalton didn't play worth a fuck last week either.
He played average.
He had 120 yards passing and a pick.
Well, but that's... This is where, fantasy drives me nuts.
No, I know they didn't have to throw.
That's what Cincinnati should have been doing for 4 weeks. 2 of which were losses.
But they can't against Denver because you got to score.
We'll see. I mean,
you got to score. You have to score.
Not necessarily. Denver's offense was not that mind-blowing against San Diego.
No.
Now, I would like to say that was because San Diego's defense was good, but Ingram alone had 2 strip sacks.
Yeah, I'm still taking
the O-line. Clady is out on the O-line. Sorry, I'm just getting excited about Ingram again.
No, Dalton's fucking a nightmare in big games. And after Pittsburgh and Baltimore win on Sunday... That was the
best point you made.
After they win on Sunday and he has to win to keep them in first place, he will harpoon our bet.
Do you want to? Yeah, that's true. Do you want this in there?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because
We've
you've
got like five other games.
Convinced me here, dude.
We've got 5 other games. I am
more than willing to switch over to Denver in this game.
Know. We've got 5 other games.
Okay. First of all, Philly at Washington, I think we agree we're not going to touch.
No. We're not.
Sanchez laying 8. Fuck off. Okay. Next game up. Okay, I'm just going to read them off to you real quick so you have them all in your head. Baltimore -5 at Houston.
I want to bet that game.
Detroit -7 at Chicago.
I want to bet that game.
Minnesota +6.5 at Miami.
Debatable.
New England -10 at Jets.
Too many points, but I love that game.
Giants Rams -5 at home versus the Giants.
Okay.
And Buffalo -5.5 at Oakland are what we have in the mix. So Baltimore, Houston, you made a tremendously compelling argument. I am down with you.
Okay. So we have Baltimore -5 in Houston. $10 pays $19.09 booked.
All right. Detroit -7 at Chicago.
I
think they can hold Chicago to 10 points. What did Detroit put up on Thanksgiving?
31.
I'm a little questionable with their fucking offense, though.
I know.
Reggie Bush has just muddied the waters. They were better with just Joik Bell. I'm not thrilled. Let's see if anything else. Minnesota +6.5 at Miami. I like it.
I do too.
I don't see the team of Miami rallying to save Philbin's job. I think a lot of them have checked out, and they went into a late-season swoon, which was truly epic last year. Thank you. Chargers got a playoff win out of that. That said,
okay, so now we got
Bridgewater.
Yeah, then we've got the Rams who have just as good a defense and the Bills who have just as good a defense. And one of them's at home and one's playing the Raiders.
I like the team that's given up 12 points in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I like
St.
the Rams.
Louis. Okay, we're betting that one.
Okay.
Rams -5 at home against Odell Beckham. $10 bet pays $19.09 booked.
All right.
Now the last one.
I'm going to let you pick this because I was the big Rams sucker.
No, it's between Buffalo and Minnesota. Do we take the team playing one of the 4 worst teams in football? Who just beat one of the best teams in football? And still has something to play for?
Yeah. Do you think there'll be a come down? I think that's what this question becomes.
Yeah, but do I like Teddy Bridgewater with 6.5 in Miami?
Yeah, no, I think Oakland's done.
So I just want to look at. I'm just going to look at Minnesota's schedule and see what they've done the last little bit.
They've been a cover monster.
Lost to the Bears 21-13. Lost to Green Bay. Beat Carolina. Beat the Jets and lost to Detroit. So the only game they didn't cover in that stretch out of their last. They beat Tampa. They beat Washington.
Give me the point totals in those games. Like how much they allowed. That's all I really care.
We'll go back to week 6. Detroit beat them 17-3. In Minnesota, they lost at Buffalo 17-16, one at Tampa 19-13 in OT, one at home against Washington 29-26, lost to the Bears on the road 21-13, lost at home to Green Bay 24-21, beat Carolina in Minnesota 31-13. Beat the Jets in overtime 30-24. Well, that scares me. They gave up 24 points to the Jets.
Yeah, I think that was the big one, and losing to Chicago.
Let's go Bills.
Okay. Now, you don't prefer New England?
Still a lot of points. And the Jets, for whatever reason, seem to somehow play their best games against them.
Well, because he won't kiss his ring, man.
So we have the Bills minus 5.5 at Oakland. $10 bet pays $19.09.
All right, I will recap those. We are once again laying points, but not nearly as many as last week. We are laying 5 points for Baltimore to beat Houston on the road. Come on, Case. We have the Rams to beat the Giants by 5 at home. 10 pays $19.09. All our bets, 10 pays $19.09. Yeah. And we have Buffalo to go on the road to keep their tiny playoff hopes alive. But it's a team playing with a bit of pride. I like this bet, actually. 10 pays $19.09. Buffalo over Oakland.
Yeah. Can't go wrong betting against a team that's 2-12 with a team that has a shot to make the playoffs and one of the top 3 defenses.
Yeah. We bet seriously on defense this week.
Yeah.
And even Baltimore's defense is pretty solid, except in the secondary, which, as you pointed out, with no quarterback, it doesn't matter how open the guys are downfield. And
they're playing a fourth-string quarterback who hasn't played all year.
I want Case, because at least you have footage on him. They know his tendencies.
Oh, I don't want...
I would actually be more nervous about a street guy.
Too much of a wild card. He made some fucking big throws when I'd rather see the other guy, but...
That's a different system. Case couldn't improved. He couldn't learn Atlanta's system. And they traded for him. Do you know what it means when you trade for a guy and then drop him? That's not a good endorsement. I want to see Case. All right.
Okay. All right. You can check out our podcast on iTunes or Stitcher for your Android device, on our website, offensivelines.ca. Follow us on Twitter at offensivelines for any updates to our blog posts or when a new podcast is available, or on our own personal Twitter accounts at olinesmarlon or at olinesboyd, facebook.com/offensivelines. And if you would like to send us an email, it's offensivelines@shaw.ca. I'm Boyd.
I'm Marlon, and that was our pick show for Week 16.
Degenerate fucking gambler.